We're practicing COVID.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, we're so glad to be here today. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you. We're honored to be here today. I'm going to introduce my husband. If you can say someone has had hands laid on them, he has brought him from a mighty long way. I am so thankful that he chose him to be my husband. He has guided us, and he has guided his flock. Yes. And I just want to introduce him today, and he's going to bring forth the word. And my husband, Obadiah. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom, family. Hallelujah. Like Ox said, we're not visitors anymore. This is our second home. And I always love coming here because it's an anointing. It's anointing in this assembly. And the Most High dropped in my spirit about a year ago. And it's power in our praise and it's victory in our worship. And I mentioned last night, we are a peculiar people. We're weirdos. We go out to war and we got people with trumpets praising God, and the enemy is like, what are these people doing? Because we're Judah, we already know we have the victory. So I love coming here because this power in here is victory in here. So I salute you all in the name of our coming King. Some may call him Yeshua, some may call him Yahweh Shai, some may call him Yashayah, some may call him Yehoshua. Whatever your God is that you understand, we salute you in the name of our coming King. Hallelujah. I don't know how long you've been around, but they try to slander us and say that we're coming back to the commandments and we're forsaking Christ. But the devil is a liar. We lift him up. We go through him. So whatever your understanding is, it's by his blood, it's by his power we're standing. So I give all honor and glory to the Most High, by Hashem, by the blood of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. I want to give honor to my aunt, my brother in arms, his queen, all the Moraz in the building. Everybody who's made it their post to keep this family going, because we are a nation. And Sister E opened up last night with her class on kingdom. And they don't use that word anymore. The Greeks taught us about nations. But we're really under a kingdom. That's right. We're under the Roman kingdom. And her class was so on time. And I love every time we get together, the speakers that he lined up, our classes just coincide and parallel. That's how you know the Rawak is here. But when Sis Morah read that scripture today, I was bubbling up because on the way over here, Isaiah's version popped in my head. And the Most High was telling, ask your fathers of old. Anybody ever trusted on me, I let them down. Come on, sir. He was telling them, check my track record. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you're following my law, I got you. The Morah says, and that's why I love building together, because when we get together, like I said, that first conference, we form a Voltron. The Rawak just keeps bouncing. Because I never caught that verse that Ox says. It says, lift up the gates. I don't need no more watching on the wall. I'm here now. No one's coming in here. We don't need no more watching. God's here. He promised us, he says, when you go to Jerusalem to celebrate the feast, don't worry about your houses and your crops. My Malachayim is going to sit over you. We're coming back to that, family. We are a mighty nation. Don't let no one be godly when thinking that following the law, statutes, commandments, that you are in a cult and you have left Christ. We exalt him. So I salute you all in the name of our coming King. I want to thank my queen for always supporting me. She's been with me through the mud, through the darkest days when I didn't know where I was going. She stood right by me, and iron sharpens iron. So I thank the Most High for her. I want to salute my family from the Torah Group here supporting me. I can tell you that being a leader you get tired, and you can't really cry to the congregation because they're not your peers. You need other leaders to cry to. And I was to a point where I was sort of getting tired. I was getting tired, and it's like, these people are not getting this. They're not really understanding who we are and the power of who we are. And the Most High, brought some young men through. And I seen a spark in their eyes, it lit my fire back up. And these boys are hungry, these young men are hungry. So I salute them for being righteous young ops and their future teachers in Israel. So we want to bring them up righteously, not cussing people out, not belittling people. And Hamashiach didn't do that. So I salute these young men for willing to do the work. Hallelujah. So I'm not going to be before you long, but the Most High builds the classes and then he moves when we get together. So the Most High will be done. But today's conference is all about truth being revealed. And before I get started, I want to do a check. Can everybody raise their hands and just check your neighbor's hands? Everybody raise your hands. Check your neighbor's hands out. Anybody see any holes, any nail prints in your neighbor's hands? No nail prints. Now, I do got a little burn mark. That's a burn mark, y'all. That's not a nail print. I said that to say none of us are master teachers. That's right. Hamashiach is the master teacher. That's right. So you have to be Bereans and do your own homework. Come on, sir. Yeah. Don't trust nothing I say because I'm a man subject to error. That's good. You take this and you take it home and you dissect it. You get before your Father. Because he's no respect of person within Israel. Not within the world, within Israel. When you come back and repent for your sins, you have the same power that he has. You have the same power that she has. So don't take my word for anything, family. You take these scriptures and get before your Father and you verify everything. That's how we was lost in Christianity for too long. Just going, pulling last Sunday's program out your Bible before you go into church. And he got a PhD, his wife looks good, his kids are well-mannered, he must know what he's talking about. Come on. And those days are over. We verify everybody. Even the apostles questioned Hamashiach. They questioned him. So if they can question our king, every teacher before you can be questioned. So we're going to go, oh no, I didn't connect to the projector. I'm SELAH, so bad. Do we have to put it down first? No, you don't have to. Can it reach? Yeah, you should. I could bring it down.
Move the table over so towards
the whole table over.
Josh.
That's why we need the young for technology, but the old knows the way. Because I'll be following with technology myself. Thank you. So the Torah Group is just like Sister E. Our classes are interactive. We help each other learn and we help each other teach. So feel free to join in, and I'm going to need some help with this class as well. So this is the Truth Revealed Conference, and it's right on time. I don't know if y'all are active in social media, but every day more and more people are taking notice of the noise we're making. And people who are not indoctrinated are taking the time to research and says, hey, this stuff is making sense. So today, God willing, we're going to go a little bit into truth and what truth is. So my reader is Archdale, and y'all bear with him. English is not our first language, so we may stumble over some words. Because English is not our first language, it's a filthy language, so y'all just bear with us. You have any questions, You can raise your hand or chime in and we'll try to explain what we're saying the best we can. So, I got you. So, Truth Revealed, and I have a subtitle, What is Truth? Yeah. What is truth? Because everyone has a version of truth. I'm bringing the truth. I'm telling the truth. But we are the nation of Israel, Yasharallah, and we don't have the luxury to define our terms. The Most High made our way of life dummy-proof. Come on. Well, He made our way of life dummy-proof. Yeah. And I've been around a little while. I've seen some teachers, great teachers. And not to throw stones because we're all family. Are we all family here? I can relax. Yep. I can relax. Because one of the cardinal sins in our community is what? Being two-faced, right? That's right. Yes, sir. I have to be two-faced at work all week. I have to front like I like these people and smile when they come to my cubicle, and I really am disgusted by it. So when I get together on Shabbat, I like to let my hair down, take the shoes off. So I want to apologize in advance if I offend anyone. I'm not polished. I grew up in church. I was a Sunday school all-star. But by the time I was 11 and 12, I seen so much hypocrisy. I'm shooting dice with my offering money. Wow. So I'm not polished. I'm not groomed up in the ecclesiastical ways. Yeah. But I read somewhere, though I be rude in speech. So y'all bear with me and forgive me. But we're going to try to define our way of life by the Most High. Hallelujah. Anybody grew up in church? Let's see what kind of crowd we got. And I'm talking about old school church. I'm talking about when you walked out and your shirt was stained with sweat and you came out. Where y'all was at? Slopping in the mouth. So I'm in the right crowd. I want y'all to do this one time for me. Turn to your right and say, neighbor. Oh, right. I wear life. I wear life. Ain't that deep? No. Say, neighbor. I wear life. Ain't that deep? You get teachers with a bunch of presentations and different documents, and it's like you need a PhD to teach this, and you don't. You don't, because I read somewhere he says you ought to teach this to your son's sons and your son's sons. So he made this simple. When your son asks you, Pop, why you got these rocks here? You tell him the great I am brought us through Egypt with a mighty hand. It's simple. It's simple. That's our. So we keep this simple and direct. I don't use a bunch of fancy Greek terms and ologies. Our king talk with farm agricultural talk. That's right. So we use everyday speech. All right. It's too many puffed up. This way of life is simple. So as soon as we get situated, quick, and take your time around. We ain't in no rush. So our way of life is simple. You don't have to go into a long, drawn-out dissertation and go over here 50 steps and get a PhD. That's not what this is about. Come on. That's not what this is about. None of our prophets were Greeks or Romans. That's right. Our king wasn't a Greek or a Roman. Our prophets are Israelites. They're Shemitic people. So for us to understand this text that our Father had written by his prophets, we don't need a Greco-Roman education. Come on. We don't need a Greco-Roman education. We need a Hebrew readaptation. Whoa! We need a Hebrew readaptation. That's right. Because they get puffed up with these cemetery little papers they get, these cemetery doctrines, and you got to look into the Greek and you got to break this down. It's like, well, our elders didn't write this in Greek. And if they did write it in Greek, it's still Hebraic thought. So if you don't understand Hebrew, you're not going to understand the text. So I got some exercise I need some help with. And can we get two Hebrews to come up here and do an exercise for us? It's real simple. Any two volunteers? Thank you, Elder, sis. So I hope y'all can see the board. There's 6 sticks on the board, family. And what we need you to do, we want y'all to build a square. And the square you build has to have, each side must have 2 sticks. So the top side of the square should be 2 sticks. The two side walls should have 2 sticks, and the bottom wall should have 2 sticks. Y'all give them a hand while they work this out.
Soul training.
Hey, what? What Dr. Newton said? Yeah, where are you from, baby? Now, each side should have 2 sticks. It should be 2 sticks long, I should say. Each side should be 2. There you go. There you go, sis. Each side should be 2 sticks long. Each side should be 2 sticks long. So you're missing a stick on that side. So you're missing a stick. So just build the walls you can that's 2 sticks long. Y'all cheer them on. Y'all can clap for them. So you got your 2 up top. Now you need 2 on the side first. There's 2. Now you need 2 on the other side. Or you got 2 at the bottom. So what's the problem, family?
Can't build it.
Can't build it, right? Give them a hand, family. Give them a hand. The point of this exercise, they couldn't complete the square because there's missing pieces. That's when it comes to researching truth. We have missing scrolls. We have missing records from our fathers' writings. So when you go to look for truth, you have to bear in mind some of our records have been destroyed. Yeah. They're mentioned in the text, the Book of Wars. Anybody ever found that book? No. It's gone. Yeah. Gad the seer, his book is out there as a PDF, but no one reads from it. There's another prophet, his book is mentioned, but it can be very well, the Most High wants us to be quiet all day the first day of the week. But that record is missing, so we don't know. So when it comes to searching for truth, we have to make sure we have the right tools. Without the right tools, we have to rely on the Rawak. You can't rely on what your eyes see. So give them a hand for that exercise. I got one more exercise, and Shamar, y'all gonna need your help for this one. Can we have six people? I need you to beat that one. So we got 6 statements. Can someone pass these out? Anybody can help us. And they're all in English. Just 6 simple statements. And can you give them a mic? And we just want you to read these statements the best you can. It's just English, and there's nothing to it. And we're going to go in sequence. So when I call on number 1, you'll read your statement, and we'll follow the 2 on down to 7. Everyone, we got the 6 passed out? Yeah. All right, so number 1, you got a mic. Who has number 1?
I do.
Morale?
She don't need a mic.
Trumpet.
If you want to be with me, you better, for sure, TCB.
Since you understand what that means,
Take care of business.
how many understood what that means? Read it again, sis.
If you want to be with me, you better, for sure, TCB. Take care of me.
Mariah got it right away. Who else? Mariah, you had it too? No one else understood what that meant. Elder, I know you better understand what that meant. That's old school. They understood what that meant because that's our dialect, that's our culture. Yeah. We use slang or jargon that only we understand. Yeah. So TCB for you young folks, that was an old saying, you better TCB, take care of business. Yeah. And it can apply to honoring your wife, going to school, getting your march, your dad, you better TCB. Yeah. So give sis a hand clap for that. Who has number 2? Who has number 2? Morale?
If you want to get paid, meet me at the spot we bury Roscoe.
If you want to get paid, meet me at the spot we bury Roscoe. Mariah, you understand what that means?
I do not.
She do not. It's English. She read it perfectly by their English language.
If I knew who Roscoe was, I would. Yeah.
So she don't know that she could want to get paid, but since she don't know who Roscoe is, so that's obvious that no, it wasn't to her. You see where I'm going with this? She understood the language, but it wasn't to her. Who has number? Give her a hand clap, family. Who has number Queen? You got number 3?
Remember going coast to coast all those nights at TCU.
Remember going coast to coast all those nights at TCU. Queen, you understand what that means? She read English and she don't understand, and that's from her neck of the woods, but she wasn't involved in that life, so she don't. Going coast to coast. Any ballers in here? Any b-ball players? Any b-ball players? Going coast to coast, and I went up and down the floor and I yammed on it. So going coast to coast, TCU is our neighborhood park. That's where we play ball at. But Queen didn't know that because she wasn't, well, she went there, but she didn't know we called it TCU. Yeah. TCU is Tin Can University. That's where if you think you're a baller, come out here and shine. So give her a hand clap. Who has, that was 3? Who has number 4? Elder?
Me and my dog was kicking back, twisting caps.
Me and my dog was kicking back, twisting caps. Elder, you understand what that means?
I take a shot at it.
Go ahead, Elder.
Me and my boy was kicking back, drinking.
Me and my boy was at the crib drinking. How he knew that? That's our talk. That's our, and he's from Boston, I'm from Jersey. But we could context clues, and we're a generation apart, but context clues, he was able to understand what that meant. God. Context clues. Give him a hand clap. Who has number 5? Oh. Elder, you got number 5?
All right.
The last one, I knew what the last one meant too. Number 5 says, we are meeting where we first met.
We're meeting where we first met. Elder, you understand what that's saying?
I take a crack at it. We're meeting where we first met.
But you don't understand where you're going.
No.
That's indication that note wasn't for him. That note wasn't for him. Who has number? That's number 6? 5. That was 5. 6, number 6. Sis.
We need 2 turners, 1 clothesline, and someone to jump.
We need 2 turners, 1 clothesline, and someone to jump. Sis, you understand what that means?
Not a clue.
You was born in the 90s, right?
No.
2000s?
2002.
2002. Anybody? Where the old school people at? She read in English, she understood it because that's not her generation. But all of us from old school, we knew you want to make girls mad, mess up their turn. They'll put that razor blade out. Turn it right. So sis couldn't understand that note because it was before her generation. That note wasn't for her. Now, Shamaria has number 7. Shamaria, can you read number 7 for us?
Hanam Dawab Ma Naam Akyam Yashab Gam Yakad.
So he just read something in Hebrew. Shamaria, you understood what you read? Not fully. But he's learning so he can break that down and tell you what that was. So let me read it again. He says, Hanam Dawab Ma Naam Akayam Yashab Gam Yakad. This is Psalms 133. How good and pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. Psalms 133. Now, he should have knew this, but because of sin, we lost our heritage. So he couldn't read his own language. That's right. Now, this is Psalms 133. Now, we can read it in English, we can read it in Greek, but King Dawud wrote it in what? Hebrew. So if you can't read Hebrew, the text is not for you. That's good. But now you got Tom, John, and everybody telling us what our scrolls say, and you don't know the culture. You don't know the culture. So when you start to look for truth, you have to make sure that you have the right tools. You have to make sure you understand the dialect. Yeah. Because anyone, I know, the generation before me, anyone had a Nova, Chevy Nova? Y'all remember the Chevy Novas? Yeah. Yeah. Generation before that, the 70s or something? Yeah. Well, Nova in Spanish means what? No buy.
No go.
No go. No go. So they had to change the name of the car in Mexico. Mexico. Because when you take a Chevy Nova to Mexico, they're like, well, the car don't go. So that's when it comes to unlocking these scrolls and getting to the truth, you have to come back to who you are. You can get 15 degrees if you want. You can speak Latin, German, it don't matter. If you don't understand the culture of this text, you're going to be lost. Your breakdown is going to be a little skewed. Yeah. Where my old school crowd out? Play real horseshoes. Not this cornhole. Yeah. Got clean. A leaner can get you a point until someone comes and knocks it off. Yeah. So if you don't understand the Hebrew, your teaching may be a leaner. But when God says, meet me here at 6 o'clock, you come 6:01, God's gone.
That's it.
God's gone.
That's it.
So when it comes to looking for true family, you have to try to get to the core essence of what our Father said, because you don't want to miss a Messiah when he comes. You don't want to be on Mount Sinai, but he said, meet me at Mount Zion. And to do this, we have to get back to who we are. So I got a couple tools. Now, I'm not good with this Google Docs, but we're going to see how it operates here. Okay. So, we got some Berean legwork to do. Anybody know what I mean when I say Berean legwork? Anybody ever heard of the Berean Jews? Research. The Berean Jews were some of our ancestors who grew up or who lived in a Greek town called Berea. And it says when Uncle Shaul came through, they didn't just disregard Shaul. They said, well, we're going to verify the text for ourselves to see what you're saying is true. So that's the term we came up with. Be a Berean. Don't accept my breakdown because I'm saying things that sound illogical got us in trouble. Yeah. Because it sounds good. Oh, he's preaching good. He said it with authority. The Klan say things with authority. Is the Klan right?
Come on, come on.
So saying things because you raise your voice don't mean you right.
That's good.
You got to come back to who we are. Come back to being Shemites. So Shemariah, he's going to read the text. We got 6 verses. He's going to read it out of the Masoretic text called the KJV. And Yashayah is going to read it out of that Septuagint to show you how tainted our history has been. No fault of anybody here. It's on our ancestors. I don't blame the Greeks. I don't blame the Romans. They say when you point your finger, it's one point back at you.
That's right.
So you may see me get riled up against the pagans, but I'm really mad at our ancestors. So we want to show you how the Masoretic text known as the KJV, it doesn't matter. You get the 1611. Some brothers, I got the 1611. It doesn't matter. It's still garbage. It's still garbage. So Shemariah is going to take us to, and we do this together. We're going to Genesis 49 and verse 10. Genesis 49 verse 10. And I want you to compare this text. And Yashayah, what version of the Septuagint do you have?
I have the Lexham English Septuagint.
So he has a more modern version of the Septuagint, and it's easier to read. The one I have, and I like it because it's more ancient. It's written or translated by a man named Sir Lancelot Britton. So look for Sir Lancelot Britton or the Lex Ham copy or the translation of the Septuagint, and you'll get a closer translation of what our Father says. Somebody, you ready? Better shot or Genesis 49 and 10. Read.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Anybody see a problem with that? Nor a lawgiver from between his feet till Shiloh comes. No one sees a problem with that? You got something?
Lawgivers are the Levites.
Lawgivers are the who?
Levites.
Why would you say a lawgiver from between his feet? Between his feet is a cleaned up way of his loins. From his loins. So this text, this KJV saying Judah would not fail to have a lawgiver from his loins. But the lawgivers didn't come from the loins of Judah. Yeah. They came from the loins of Levi. So read what you got in the Septuagint.
Genesis 49, verse 10 in the Septuagint. A ruler will not cease from Judah, and one who leads from his sides until the things laid away for him come, and he is the expectation of the nations.
It's a lot of family. I don't want y'all to take our word for anything. So this is the older version, but his version is reading the same. Genesis 49:10 says, is that big enough for the family? Yeah. A ruler should not fail from Judah, nor a prince from his loins. His said the same thing. Now that's in line with the way Moses set it up. Judah has the royal tribe, the kingship, and Levi has the lawgivers. You see, when you take this, we've been duped. Now, I don't want to go on a tangent on Christianity. Anybody have Christian family and friends?
Yes.
Do we hate them?
No.
We love them, right? We want to win them. And I heard you draw more flies with honey than vinegar, right? So we don't want to embarrass them and belittle them, but we was told, this is the word of God. I'm an anointed prophet, so if I'm reading from this book and you question me, you're questioning God. Yeah. But now all praise be to Abba Yah by the blood of Yahweh Shai, we know this is not truly the word of the Most High. It's been tampered with. Yeah. How many translations you go to the Bible bookstore and pick from? Mm-hmm. So now that causes us to be Bereans. Yeah. We got to go deeper and seek God for the truth. Let's go to our next one, What's the next one? We're going to Exodus chapter 1, verse 5. Exodus chapter 1, verse 5. Let me get that one up. Shema, you have it? Read.
And all the souls that came from the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. 70 souls.
How many souls came from Jacob?
70 souls.
70 souls. The KJV, the Resurrected, says 70 souls. Yashayah, what you got?
Exodus chapter 1, verse 5. And Joseph was already in Egypt, and all the souls from Jacob were 75.
How many?
75.
So he has a modern version of the Septuagint, and he'll say 75. Here's the older version, and let's see which one this one agrees with. Verse 5. And all the souls born of Jacob were 75. We got two witnesses saying 75 and one witness saying 70. So in the court of law, y'all know that little system, we got 2 versus 1. Yeah. And the Septuagint is almost 1,000 years older than the Masoretic text. So this Masoretic text is on shaky ground. It's on shaky ground. Let's go to our next one. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 24. 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 1. 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 1. Shema. Read.
And again, the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Yasharallah, and he moved David against them to say, go number Yasharallah and Judah.
The anger of the Most High was stirred up, and the Most High caused David to go number Israel. It's saying the Most High told David to sin, because trying to number Israel is a sin. You can't try to number Israel. You can number the warriors, but the whole nation is a sin, because why? What did God promise to Abraham? Your seed should be like the stars of heaven or the sand of the sea. So you're trying to count. You're telling God he's a liar. Come on. You're telling God he's a liar. So if David numbered Israel, this Masoretic text saying God told him to do that. God told him to sin. Anybody see a problem with that? Yeah. That one is wrong too. That's why I pulled it from here. So that's why you have to be a Berean. You have to check the publishers. And you have to check the editors. All of these people are confederate against us. So just because you got an old text, don't mean it's valid. You have to go beneath the surface. So this next hymn right here is still butchered. Read what you got. It agrees with the Masoretic.
Yeah, 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 1. And the Most High increased his anger burning against Yasharallah, and he stored up David among them and saying, "Go count Israel and Judah."
So that text agrees with the Masoretic text, but the Septuagint, which is 1,000 years older, it was translated by Israelites, lawful Israelites who trusted the Messiah, says, "And the Most High caused his anger to burn forth again in Israel, and Satan stirred up David against them, saying, Go number Israel and Judah." Satan enticed David to do it. Now let's cross-reference that with 1 Chronicles. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verse 1. 1 Chronicles 21, verse 1. Shema, you have Shema is the Hebrew word means I'm ready to listen. That's all Shema means. 1 Chronicles 21, verse 1. Shema. Read.
Well, Hasatan stood up against Yasha'Allah and provoked Dawid to number Yasha'Allah.
Who stood up against Dawid?
Hasatan.
So now this Masoretic text is contradicting itself. And in their word of academia, if you got a record contradicting itself, your record is garbage. That's by their own rules. Read what you got.
Now the slanderer stood in Israel and urged David to count Israel.
They're calling Hashatan the slanderer. So this version says the same thing, and the devil stood up against Israel and moved David to number Israel. Because remember, was it our uncle James, Jacob says, God tempts no man, and he can't be tempted with evil. So for the Masoretic text to say God moved David to number Israel, something ain't right. Something ain't right. We got Bereans in the house. We have to dig beneath, we have to go beneath the surface and ask God to give us understanding. He says, in the last days, I'm going to pour my spirit out. Anybody thirsty in here? You have to be thirsty. You just can't come here to get a feel good. That's Christianity. You got to be coming here. That's why I love coming here. I don't wait for nobody to praise and worship. I'm getting my praise on because we don't have that where we at. So I come here to get my praise on because there's power in praise. There's victory in worship. Right. Yeah. Y'all it's like Christianity. Y'all trying to pull the worship leader. I told the congregation, we shouldn't have to stir the spirit up. We should have the spirit in you when you walk in that door.
That's right.
You shouldn't go that you bump you up.
That's right.
Somebody died from COVID. On the way over here, me and Queen almost got sideswiped.
Wow.
Queen said, why you lay on the horn like it's a sad one? Jumping like this. I compare with my life. Like, and then she gonna put a ring on after she got in the lane. But I said, no, what, baby, just praise God. He protect. His angels are all around us. You want to make that praise and worship, get in here and start sweating. You should come here and thank you, y'all. Praise y'all. Y'all check down, praise y'all. Let's go to our next one. Let's go to Ezekiel 34, verse 31. Ezekiel 34, verse 31. We're doing Berean legwork to get to the truth.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 34, verse 31. Shema, when you have it. Read.
And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your Elohim, saith Yahweh Elohim.
Ye are the sheep of my flock, and my flock is men. Anybody see a problem with that? Anybody see a problem with that?
Come on.
How you gonna have a flock of men? What? This is transgender going on? How you got a flock of all men, and it says, I'm gonna exalt y'all over your fathers. We're gonna be more. So if your flock is all men, how you gonna reproduce? You see, why would these Masoretic priests do this? The word Masoretes comes from a Hebrew word Masorah. Masorah means traditions. Anybody see where I'm going? Anybody see where I'm going? These are the sons of the priests who killed Messiah. So they are, I call them Talmudists. So the fact that you reject Messiah, strike one. The fact that you change the language, strike two. Yeah. The fact that now you're changing facts, strike three, you're out of here. You're out of here. The Masoretic text is garbage. I agree what you got in Septuagint.
I'm going to start verse 30. Ezekiel 34, starting at verse 30. And they will know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim, and they, the house of Yasha'Allah, the house of Israel, are my people, says Yahweh. You are my sheep, and the sheep are my flock. I am Yahweh, your Elohim, says the Master Yahweh.
Y'all notice that he said nothing about men in that text? Nope. It didn't mention about my sheep, my flock is men. The older version said the same thing, Ezekiel 34:31. You are my sheep, even the sheep of my flock. I am the Most High, your Elohim, says the Most High. Why would these Masoretic priests do this? They have an agenda. They have an agenda. Yeah. So searching for truth, you got to go beneath the surface. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 19. SELAH, thank you. Ezekiel 37 and 19. Ezekiel 37 and 19. Shema. Read.
Say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Yasha'Allah his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand.
I'm going to take the stick of Ephraim, tribe of Joseph, the northern kingdom, and I'm going to put it with the stick of Judah, and they're going to be one in my hand. This is supposed to be the Most High talking. They're going to be one in my hand. Y'all read what you got?
Ezekiel 37 and 19. And you will say to them, this is what Yahweh says, look, I shall take the tribe of Joseph, which is by the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Yasha'Allah join to him, and I shall establish them over the tribe of Judah, and they shall be one rod in the hand of Judah.
One rod in the hand of who?
Judah.
In the hand of Judah. I'm going to put the two sticks together, and when the two sticks come back together, I'm giving the whole rod to Judah. You see the difference there? Yeah. The older version says the same thing. Verse 19. Then shalt thou say to them, thus saith the Most High, behold, I will take the tribe of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel that belongs to him, the northern kingdom, and I will add to them to the tribe of Judah, and they shall become one rod in the hand of Judah. Judah's going to rule the nation because Judah's the one who stayed with Yah. You see how that text is muddied up? We got to be Bereans, family. Now let's go to our last one, Yasha'Yah, or Isaiah 19 and 18. Isaiah 19 and 18. Isaiah 19, verse 18. Shema, when you have it. Read.
In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Mitzrayim speak the language of Canaan, and swear to Yahweh Tazabah, one shall be called the city of destruction.
One shall be called the city. 18. One should be called the city of destruction. Anybody out there got something different in their text? Anybody got something different in their text? Read what you got out.
Isaiah 19:18. On that day there will be 5 cities in Egypt that speak the Canaanite language and swear by the name of Yahweh. The one city will be called the city of Asadek.
The city of Asadek. If you have an old KJV, check your footnote for verse 18. The footnote is going to say the city of the sun. The city of the sun. You catch that out? Why would the Most High call a city the city of the sun? Wow. Sun worship going on. Egypt, all that, they were all sun worshipers. But the true text of what Yah says, 5 cities in Egypt are going to speak the Canaanite language. That's Hebrew. That's another word to say Hebrew. Because our language is so closely related to Canaan, it's the same thing. But he says the city is going to be called the city. Azadak is a Latin version. It's the city of Zadok. Anybody understand what Zadok means?
Righteousness.
Righteousness. So us Israelites who were brought up in Egypt, we're going to return to him, and we're going to be standing for truth in Egypt. Sounds familiar? Today we're standing up in Egypt for truth. So wherever we are the kingdom, we are the city of Zadok. Y'all want to catch that in your spirit. But again, the point we're driving home, the KJV is muddied up. It missed it. It missed it totally. It's the city of Zadok, the city of righteousness. So we have a commandment in Deuteronomy 8, 19, and 15. Remember I said our way of life is dummy proof? We had a class, or someone asked the class, I think Morah had a round table a couple of weeks ago. How do we know someone is teaching truth? Because everyone's saying they're teaching truth. How do we know? I'm just coming off the street. How do I know this brother's teaching truth? Well, you don't have to hang on every word. You just got to understand the...
Or you say Deuteronomy what?
Deuteronomy 19 and 15. You vet someone's teaching by what the Most High says, by 2 or more witnesses. Let every word be established by 2 or more. We just gave you 6 witnesses that the KJV has been altered. So in our way of life, the KJV cannot be trusted. So when you're looking for truth, make sure you have the right tools before you go digging for truth. That makes sense? Hallelujah, hallelujah. And just this week, it was funny, I didn't tell I was going to do this, but these brothers keep me so busy, these brothers hungry, and I got to get more energy to stay up with these brothers. But he sent me a verse this week. What verse you sent me?
It was Numbers chapter 4.
We won't go there for the sake of time, but Numbers 4, where my theologians at? Seminary students, don't be embarrassed. It's all right. It's all right, we all family. What's the age? What's the age you're supposed to be a priest? To be in a ministry. 30. That's what they told us. Christianity says, because they're using the text, you got to be 30. They said, well, Jesus was 30, that's when he started his ministry. But that commandment was only for Levites. Yahweh Shai's not a Levite. He started his ministry when he started speaking to people. First time recorded was 12 years old. He's in the temple. He was ministering. But when you get to the Septuagint says the Levites should start ministering at the age of what?
25.
25. I put more stock in the Septuagint because it's older, and it was when we had a organization. Our Sanhedrin was still operating. Eleazar was the high priest, and he was a righteous high priest. So the Septuagint, in my studies, in my research, the Septuagint is a more valid copy of what the Most High said. So when we're looking for truth, we have to start out with the right tools.
That's good.
You can build a house with a spoon if you want, but wouldn't you rather have a backhoe? So when you're looking for truth, make sure you got the right tools.
That's good.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So that was all the Old Testament. And anybody ever heard, you've been in the truth long enough, y'all always read from the Old Testament. That's all y'all teach. Anybody heard that yet?
Yeah.
If you ain't heard it, stay around. That's all y'all, that stuff has been done. Why y'all keep talking about that? That's done away with. But let's go to the so-called New Testament, because none of our fathers referred to the text as Old and New. Those terms, Old and New, was put on our scrolls by a pagan named Tertullian. Anybody ever heard of Tertullian? Tertullian was the father of the Latin church in Africa. He the one divided in Old and New Testament. None of our fathers ever said Old and New. If you check the apostles, they would say it's written in the law. The prophets of old said. They would never say in the Old Testament, this is written. So that's why now I'm getting stirred up. I hate these pagans. Keep your filthy fingers off our records. It's not for you. Anybody old school FUBU? For that's what this text is. It's for us, by us. You make everything spiritual, and Jesus coming in spirit, because you know you're not physically Israel, so you have to convert everything to being spiritual. Do we need the Spirit? Yes. What is the Spirit? The Most High God. What did He give us? He gave us the law. The law is spiritual. Hallelujah. So let's go to the so-called New Testament and show you even the New Testament cannot be trusted. Now, I'm not an Israelite who forsakes the New Testament. I stay away from those people. We don't need the New Testament to prove our way of life, but the New Testament records bear a record that the Messiah we was looking for, He walked this earth, we strung Him up, and He got up again. So that's why we teach from the New Testament. I could prove them in the old, but the new just makes it more sweeter.
Yes.
Makes it more sweeter. So let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 8. 1 Corinthians 13 and verse 8. Shema, you got it? I don't think it's going to take long at all. Read.
Clarity never faileth, but whether there Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail.
What? What'd you say?
But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail.
Prophecies is going to fail. Anybody see a problem with that? Anybody see a problem with that? Prophecies are going to fail. Family, if prophecies fail, you and I are here for nothing.
That's right.
We here got this good music going on for nothing. Because it was prophesied in the last days, I'm going to pour my spirit on your son's son, and they're going to wake up and say, I'm Judah. So if prophecies fail, we got a big problem.
Yeah.
You might as well go back to what you was doing, moonwalking in the church and shooting dice at the club. This is all for nothing. So why would Uncle Shawal say prophecies will fail? So let's test this. Let's go to Isaiah, Yashayah. Let's go to Yashayah or Isaiah 44. Let's go to Isaiah 44. I'm sorry, 40 and 8. Let's go to Isaiah 40 and 8. And let's see what the Father says. Isaiah 40 and 8.
Shema, good stuff.
Read.
The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our Elohim shall stand forever.
The word shall what?
Stand forever.
When we get prophecy, where should that prophecy be coming from?
The word.
Me or the Father?
The Father.
So if I'm speaking the Father's word and I'm prophesying, Yashayah or the Most High just told Isaiah, my word's going to stand forever. That's one witness against Paul. That's one witness against Paul. Now let's go get a second witness. We're going to stay in Isaiah. Let's go over to Isaiah 55 and 11. Let's go over to Isaiah 55 and 11. Prophecy is going to fail. Isaiah 55 and 11. Shema. Read.
So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
Second time the Most High said, my word is going to accomplish that what I set out to do. When I say I'm going to send you into captivity, you're going into captivity. When I tell you I'm coming to get you, my son is coming back. Just hold on. My son is coming back. That's why when sister read that verse, that passage, that she's about to tear me up. Because we got brothers and sisters, loved ones in Christianity, and we try not to attack them. We try to win them with love. But there were elders who gave up on God in Babylon. That generation, he done forsake us. I might as well go ahead and sacrifice to Moloch because y'all done forgot about us. So when she read that, trust in me. You gotta trust in God. He's coming back to get you. So if Paul is saying prophecies fail, we just got two witnesses from Yah himself that his word is going to stand. We got a problem, family. We got a problem. Now, let's go to the New Testament, just for those who say that's all we read from. Let's go to 1 Peter. Let's go to 1 Peter 1 and 21. 1 Peter 1 and 21. Let's get our third witnesses. Let's be obedient by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. 1 Peter 1 21. Shema? Read.
1 Peter 1 and 21. Who by him do believe in the Most High, that raised up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in Elohim.
This is a messianic verse. He's saying that your faith and glory be in, he's talking about the Son. So if prophecies fail, the Son coming back to get us is not a valid thing to hang your hat on. Y'all see where I'm going? So that leads me back. Why would Uncle Shawal says prophecy is going to fail? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. The truth of the matter is 70 AD didn't destroy our nation completely. 70 AD, they destroyed our temple, the seat of our power. But we still had Israelite generations in the land. So around 125, 127, we are a strong nation again. Anybody ever heard of the Bar Kokhba revolt? The rabbis gassed up this man named Simon Bar Kokhba, says he's the one. He's the Messiah we've been waiting on. He's going to get the Romans out of here. Be careful who you listen to. That's why you got to be a Berean and verify everything for yourself. But the people got gassed up. Yeah. And they rose up against the Romans, and the emperor at the time was 8. Depending on what text you read, some call him Hadrian, some call him Adrian. But Adrian says, you know what? Now y'all got to get out of here. Be out of here by sundown. Y'all can't come back to Jerusalem. If I catch you in here, I'm killing you. So while our ancestors were outside of Jerusalem by 125, 127 AD, the pagans had access to our homes. That's when they started finding the apostles' letters. So one thing about the Talmudists that I like about them, they always stood on prophecy. So I don't teach the Talmudists the oral law. I don't deal with that. I deal with what Moses got. But one thing the Talmudists kept throwing their nose up at the Romans, the prophecies are not for you. The prophecies are for Israel. Now when you get that understanding, now it makes sense why you would change prophecies to fail. Y'all see where I'm going? Yeah. You got to vet everything, even the New Testament. No, not one word of the Most High is going to fail us. Let's get a second one. Let's go over to the letter to the Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 3, verse 6. Now, family, anybody grew up in church, we want to attack the Christian. We love them. But this letter is written to who? Hebrews. Why would you read this to anybody else? Why would you put anything in here to the world? It tells you a letter to the Hebrews. Yeah. You see how you got to be Bereans, when you come out and take a step back, it's like, that's why when we sit in crowds like this, we're not a cult. If you don't understand, you haven't researched it, don't say con, don't agree. So I haven't vetted that yet. I got to do my own research. Because when you say con and you don't agree or you haven't vetted it, you've just been indoctrinated. And the days of being indoctrinated are over with. Every man got to vet what he's saying. That's and right. It should line up with the words of the Most High. Hebrews 3 and 6. Read.
But Hamashiach as a son over his own house, whose house are we if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm unto the end?
Hamashiach as a son over his own house. Anybody see a problem with that? Hamashiach as a son over his own house. As long as your father alive, in our culture, as long as your father alive, you don't have a house. It's your father's house. So Yahushua is not over his own house. I read somewhere he's the chief cornerstone. We feel y'all. He's the chief cornerstone. If he's a cornerstone, how can he be over the house? I read somewhere I'm going to give you the throne of who? David. Yeah. You see why would Paul put this? Paul didn't write this. The letter to the Hebrews disappeared for a couple of years, and when it reappeared in circulation, it was all kind of redactions in this. That's when you got to be Bereans, family. Let no one beguile you. So we read from everything. The pseudepigraphers, I read it all because, like I said, God told me, if it's wicked, I expose it to you and let you know. So I'm not scared to read anything. I read the Talmud, and I can rip the Talmud to shreds. That's garbage. But it has facts that we need to know. And which emperor did what was going on. So I chew the meat and spit the bones. That makes sense. So that's our Berean legwork. We're looking for truth, but we have to make sure we got the right tools when we go looking for truth.
That's right.
That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
So I asked a question, who's thirsty for truth? And we're not a cult, family. If you're not thirsty for truth, this ain't Christianity. Just say, look, I'm just researching. I'm trying to find this thing out. That's what Christianity, that's what church do. How many love Jesus? I do, but you got 10 girlfriends across town. You don't really love Jesus. How many love Jesus? I do. You smell like weed Friday night. So we don't do that in this community. We keep if you're not thirsty for truth, just say, hey, I'm still researching this thing. But if you're thirsty for truth, God's going to answer you, family. He just said that his word stands. So if you're thirsting, he's coming to talk to you. He's coming to talk to you. So let's go to 2nd Ezra. And 2nd Ezra is the same Ezra in the EZRA. It's the same Ezra, just spelled differently. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 20. Anybody need it on the screen? Anybody need to know what the screen you don't have a pocket for? Second, you know what the screen says? Come on. Second Ezra. If you're still researching, do your own research. I grew up in the church, and when I seen the brothers, it was like, I heard that was witchcraft. I can't read those books. And the Spirit said, just get them. If it's tainted, I'm going to show it to you. And I went through these books one by one, and everything these books say, you can find it in the so-called Masoretic text. 2nd Ezra chapter 5, and I may jump around. Let's start at verse 20, see what the Spirit says. Let me change this. Second Ezra chapter 5 and verse. Let me get the right chapter, y'all. I'm like you. I think these young folks keep me with this technology, man. I can't. Send me a letter. 2nd Ezra 5 and verse 20. 2nd Ezra 5 and verse 20. Even babies know how to work the phone. You don't need that. The babies know how to work the phone. Goodness gracious. Let me show you, old man. 2nd Ezra 5 and 20. Let's pick it up here, Al.
And so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, like as Uriel the angel commanded me.
Ezra is seeking God. He's thirsting and he's fasting. He's thirsting and he's fasting. Well, you say, well, if he's thirsting, why is he fasting? If he's thirsting, he should be drinking. I'm going to show you in the Hebrew what the word fast really means in the Hebrew. So Ezra is seeking answers, and to get answers from Yah, he's fasting. He has to fix his soul. Did you say last night that Kim Burrell song? So we come to Yah always asking, ain't never giving him nothing. You got to give him something to work with. Yeah. So me and Gina ain't stockpiling groceries, but we get some water and some so we can help each other out. And now the Spirit comes, a gallon of water lasts 5 months. Like, whoa, that's what we got coming. Yeah. Everything that happened in the Old Testament, that reward is about to come back in your house. When a tornado comes and your little shack's the only one standing, and the news want to talk to you, well, what your house is made of? The same thing yours made of, but it's built on the law, statutes, and commandments. Hallelujah, God. Hallelujah, God. So Ezra is thirsting, but he's fasting. Let's go over to 2nd Ezra 6 and 31. Let's get another witness. And if you haven't read 2nd Ezra, I implore you this week, put it on your list. It will stir your spirit up. Yes. It will lift your chest up. This Corona and COVID and Budweiser, you're walking the job like Teflon Don. I ain't worried about none of it. I ain't worried about none of it. 2nd Ezra 6 and 31. You ain't put your mask on? I got a mask on.
I know that's right.
2nd Ezra 6 and 31. Read.
If thou wilt pray yet more, and fast 7 days again, I shall tell thee greater things by day than I have heard.
You want more, I'm going to give you more, but I need something from you. Let me see that you really want this. You just can't come and what they say in church, take up a pew. You sold up everybody's for walking, you ain't giving nothing up. Yeah. We fast once a week, and I told the family, we ain't doing no church thing. Did you break your fast? How was your fast? No. I'm trusting that you want something from God, so I ain't asking you about your fast. I want something from God because I want to be a mighty man of David. I want to be the one telling, don't fear those government trucks. Don't fear what Biden is saying. God is the great I am. Hallelujah. Come on, y'all. Yeah. So if you don't want nothing from God, when we need you, you ain't going to have nothing to offer but doubt. Yeah. And we'll smell the fear on you. Situated, the fearful is going to get slain. Right. If you don't trust in where you came from, that was at Sirach.
Oh yes.
If you don't believe in Sirach, it's not cannibal. It's not. That's a Roman. Like, we don't deal with cannibal. That's a Roman word. But if you don't trust Sirach, it's the same language in Revelation. He said the fearful are going to get killed. So I walk boldly around these people. I'm not fearing what you, where your mask at? It's already, I got Malachi all around like a matrix. That's what we got going on. If y'all can see, they say that the iceberg, you only see a tip, but the underneath the water is massive. That's what we got going on right now. We're building our iceberg up, and they see us a little bit in Archdale, a little bit in Greensboro. That's a new fad. It'll be going in a year. We've been standing strong for about 5 years. And I'm telling you, Morons, the teachers, if you're not ready for Patmos, don't come to Yah. If you're not ready for Patmos, don't come, because it's lonely. You'll be in a room full of people and you're by yourself, because no one can understand. You want to talk about politics? I'm going to tell you the truth for you, my peoples. This government ain't for us. We are a kingdom inside a kingdom. So I ain't following your God's rules or your kingdom rules. I'm following my kingdom rules. Sickness has nothing to do with your diet. Then they tell us that, oh, you eat too much fried chicken. Well, our priests ate fried chicken every day for the sacrifices. They wasn't sickly and overweight. Your diet has nothing to do with your sickness. Your diet and your sickness is coming from disobedience. Wow. Shrimp, crab, and lobster is why you sick. That hog head cheese is why you sick.
Right.
Disobedience is why you sick.
Right.
I'm not fearing none of the diseases, family.
That's right.
So again, if you're thirsting for Yah, you have to show it to him. Come on. One of my old boo things, you know, like we talk about her, but she wrote a song, "What have you done for me lately?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's Yah. He loves me unconditionally. That's a lie. You gotta show them, bring them fruits worthy of repentance. Give me a reason to bless you. Give me a reason to trust you with a prophecy so you can warn my people. You want a prophecy so you can be puffed up. Sit down, lift my boot. What's that serving the nation? They ain't serving the nation. Come on. So the Most High will test you. I give you a little bit of understanding. Let's see what you do with it. Oh, you on YouTube cutting people down? You want to? No. If you can correct the nation, but do it not to hurt a brother, do it to pick the brother up. Because if you teach something false, I don't want to destroy you. I want to lift you up so you be in line with Yah. Absolutely. Because even if I teach something false by accident, I'm still calling Yah a liar. Yeah. So if you hear something false, listen to me, brother. Did you know that? I got witnesses right here. These brothers like, did you read that? I'm going to give me a minute. I'm a Berean. Give me a minute to research this thing. And I correct things. We got a class about the head wraps. I came up, but we got to cover the head. You know, like, about to go to divorce court. You got to cover your head. You know, like, the brother, he did a study. I started researching it. I said, well, not only did we not cover our heads, the sisters don't cover the crown of their heads. Because when you cover the crown of your head, you're blocking Yahweh Shai. He's our head. And we got scripture and documents to prove it. So when you're teaching, make sure you're teaching to uplift and edify, not to get YouTube views. And what you say, want to expand your platform. That ain't doing the nation no good. All right, go get off on a tangent. Let's move forward. Good, sir. Let's move on. I'm sick of the foolishness, man. I take this very seriously. This is not a game to me. It's not a game. So you have to be thirsting for righteousness and not just lip service. You have to show God you're thirsting for Him. You want to do something for the nation, not to be a big shot, not to be a know-it-all. You got to thirst for righteousness. Let's go to Isaiah 44:3. Isaiah 44:3. Shema, you have it? Shema. Read.
For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour out my ruach upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring.
I'm going to pour water upon those who are thirsty. Now, this whole text that we have is a big Hebrewism. That's why I opened up those exercises. If you don't understand the culture, you're going to miss the Hebrewisms. Hebrewisms are idioms, things only an Israelite can understand. Yeah. So when you don't understand the culture, you're going to miss what's going on. He says, I'm going to pour water upon those who are thirsty. Let's go to John 4:13. John 4:13. And can you take it to verse 14? John 4, verses 13 through 14. Thirsting for righteousness. Shema?
You said John. Say what now?
John chapter 4, verses 13 through 14. Read.
Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again.
Say what?
Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again.
Y'all see where I'm going with this? Whoever's going to thirst for water, I'm going to pour water upon dry ground. Yahushua is saying, if you drink this well, your flesh is going to thirst again. Finish that out.
But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
When you seek the truth, Yahushua is going to feed you water that you can water the nation with. You can build up my faith when I'm down. That's why I told my wife I was so elated when she came in and realized she finally realized I ain't trying to have multiple wives. I ain't going for that. Wait. I didn't even know that was going on. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I see this brother talking about multiple wives. I'm like, wait a minute, slow down. But when she started studying for herself, I said, Queen, I'm going to need you to be strong for me when I'm down. So you ain't always sucking me up. So now she lifts me up. When she put scriptures around the house. We need all hands on deck. So when you thirsting for righteousness, Yahushua is coming to pour into you, not so you can be selfish, so you can pour into the nation. Yeah. Yahushua is going to do this. Now watch this Hebrewism. Let's go to John 7, verses 37 through 38. And Isaiah's name is the same name as Messiah's. Isaiah's name in the Hebrew is Yah, is Yah is salvation. So we just went to Yahushua saying, the water from the well, your flesh is going to crave it again, but the water I'm going to give you is going to satisfy your soul. Watch how the Most High does this. John 7, verse 37. Read.
In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Now watch this. When they pierced our king at the end to see was he really dead, what happened? What came out of him? Water. Blood and water gushed out. So that was the Most High saying, since you didn't receive my son was trying to save y'all the heartache, now he's perished. The living water that he was trying to give y'all is spilled on the ground. Y'all see the Hebrewism? When you search for living water, he's coming to you, but if you don't want it, it's going to be spilled on the ground. Now, we're the generation coming back, we're getting that renewed living water. We're getting the renewed living water. Now, watch how the Most High tie this in to prove to you that Yahushua is that water we're thirsting for. Let's go to first, hope I'm not losing nobody, because I told y'all we lift up Messiah. They try to, no, we exalt him. We don't worship him. We worship Yah through him. That's it. Because I read somewhere, no man comes to the Father except by the Son. So we don't worship Christ, we worship Yah through his Son. Hallelujah. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 1 to show you how Mashiach has been with us since the beginning. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 1. Read.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Mashiach in the cloud and in the sea. And
all our fathers were under the cloud. Notice the word he says brethren. That's not brethren in the Christian sense. When you read brethren in the Bible, that's fleshly brothers. He says, brethren, I ain't going to have you ignorant. So these Corinthians are not born again believers. These are born again Israelites he's talking to. He says, brothers, I don't have you ignorant. All our fathers passed under this cloud. Verse 4.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank that spiritual rock that followed them.
And who was that?
And that rock was Hamashiach.
Hamashiach's been with us, feeding us, those of us who've been thirsting. He's been feeding us the whole time. Even in the wilderness, it was Hamashiach keeping that generation alive, saying, I'm not following those wicked elders. I don't care he's older than me. He's wicked because he's leaving the commandments. It's been Hamashiach the whole time, feeding us and keeping us filled with the Ruach. That's why we rock his name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's get another witness. Let's go to John chapter 19. John chapter 19, verse 34. We got to produce our witnesses. John 19, verse 34. When we thirst for righteousness, we have to go to the King. We have to go to Hamashiach.
Yeah.
John 19:34. Shema. Read.
But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water.
You see that? Our fathers drank that same from that same spiritual rock. Now this rock that they rejected is gushing out water. This Bible from cover to cover is a big Hebrewism. A big Hebrewism. Let's get the last witness. Let's go to Isaiah 5 and 6. Isaiah or Yashayahu 5 and 6. Isaiah 5 and 6. Shimon? Read.
And I will lay it waste, it shall not be pruned, nor dig, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it.
I'm going to command the clouds not to rain upon it. If you go back and check the context, this is the Most High saying, because y'all are disobedient, I'm going to destroy y'all. This is all a Hebrewism for our nation. So he says, I'm going to command the clouds not to rain on you. We just verified that cloud was a Mashiach. So because you don't want my son, I'm going to take him from you. And once he leaves, the blood, what he says, the blood be on our hands and our children. We are the children. When you see Trayvon Martin crying on video for his life, it hurts. And I say, Father, we don't deserve that. He said, y'all do. I was like, oh, what you mean we do? And it came back to this text. Our Father said the blood be on our hands. Yeah. So when us big brothers are scared, when the police get behind us, we legal, but you're still nervous. Like, it's because we rejected the Messiah. So now we're thirsting for living water. We're coming back to our heritage, and it has to start with Messiah. So on the screen, I got the Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew. We go from right to left. I guess I need the pointer now. So in our culture, the Greeks are they're fine people. The Greeks twisted everything, family. We read from right to left. So this is a picture that we call taza, and it gives you the za sound. This is the ma is the picture of the ocean wave. So this is zawam. So when we fast, this is someone hunting on a trail, and this is your mark. So you're trying to find something. So zawam, I'm hunting for water. That's what I'm doing. I'm fasting. So when we fast, we're hunting for Yahweh Shai to give us fresh water. We're zawam. So that's the breakdown of to be thirsty or to fast. We're seeking God. We're searching for His truth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Wow.
So y'all know how the Most High gave us a covenant and had good parts and bad parts? Well, the truth has good parts and bad parts. This truth is a burden. This truth is a burden. I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 8. Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. And one of our great patriarchs, Big Gregory, he says, once you take the glasses off, you can't put them back on. So once you get this truth in your life, you have to do something with it. You are responsible for this truth. Yeah. Ecclesiastes 1 and 8. And this is in the Apocrypha family.
Ecclesiastes.
I'm sorry, you're right. It is in KJV. Ecclesiastes 1 and 8. Shema, read.
All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing.
So he's saying that the eyes are never satisfied with seeing, and the ears are never satisfied with hearing. You always want more. You always want more. And it's like sometimes I'll be like, I don't even want to know no more. It's a burden. It's a burden to hear your family. We go on Christmas shopping. And my babies will be, don't say nothing, babe. They're my people. I love it. I got to let them know that you're going to hell. So this truth is a burden. So when the Most High, and trust and believe, this is not your intellect. I don't knock education. I love education. I love learning. But this is not a scholastic research. This is not you can get all you want. It's the Most High removing the scales. And when you remove the scales, it's responsibility. responsibility. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3, verses 17 through 18. Ezekiel 3, 17 through 18. This truth is a burden, fam. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that so you know how serious this is. Ezekiel 3, verse 17. Shemai, read.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto thee, house of Yasha'al. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
Give them what?
Warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
So when your family come around that you love, Big Mama wants you to come over for ham house for Thanksgiving, you gotta let Big Mama know, Big Mama, I love you so much. But Big Mama, little ham house is gonna kill you. When Mom wants you to come over, why you just, I bought you a gift, Mom, I can't give it to me in July. I can't accept that. This truth is a burden because the Most High sees something in you. He feels he can trust you with his word. Now you have to do something with it. So now we don't come out here being combative. Let me see what your pastor don't know. No, that's not how you start a conversation. I bet your pastor ain't telling you this. That's not how you gonna start a dialogue. How about, hello, brother, shalom, I love you, brother. You know we Israel? What are you talking about? That's how you start a dialogue. How many brothers ever met a woman, let me get your number? How you start a conversation? You grew up in a different time. You grew up in a different time. But you open a conversation over civility, humility. Hey, brother, what's going on? What you really talking about? So you don't cut at people's neck. I bet you pass them. No. But when the Most High give you this truth, family, you have to do something with it.
That's right.
Politely. What it says, let every word be seasoned with salt. So don't tell me, yo, Christmas is wicked, you're going to hell. How about, hey, can you show that to me in the Bible? Can you show me Thanksgiving? There's a brother at the job, I love him to death, old brother. 1 year, what you doing for Thanksgiving? Nothing. Nothing. You ain't go home? No. What's going on? I said, I can't find it in the Bible. He said, oh, I'll show it to you in the Bible. I said, well, by all means, I sit right here. It's been 2 years ago. He ain't been by my cubicle yet. That's how you dialogue to win people, not to cut people, embarrass people. That's what this truth do. So that's the Old Testament. Let's go to the New Testament. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, I'm just saying.
You see something?
It goes with it.
Go ahead. That's what the body is for. Ezekiel 4, 3 and 19.
In just 19 it says, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
Your hands are clean, family. When you tell them I don't eat swine, not trying to be special, the Father don't want me eating that. And I know some brothers that give the health reasons, swine is that. It's like, no, because the Father can resurrect me. So I don't care about the swine being dirty. It's the fact that he said don't eat it. That's just, I told you I like it simple. I ain't gotta, well, you know a swine got no sweat glands in it. I said don't eat it. That's all I need to know. Our life is not complicated, it's simple. Let's go to the New Testament, because y'all know they say we don't read from the New Testament. Let's go to Galatians 4:16. Galatians 4:16, we're about to run through this. Galatians 4:16. Shema? Read.
Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
This truth is going to make enemies within Israel.
Yeah.
Moray Douglas could tell you. Because once my truth disagrees with your truth, we can't be brothers and come together. Well, let me see your sources. Where you get? No, it's all, I've been doing like this for this year, and that's all. I don't need this person. Like, if you're wrong, none of us should be embarrassed by anything happen to us. Any addicts in here? Alcohol, drug addictions? Any fellas in here? Nothing happened over here we should be embarrassed about. It happened because of disobedience. Our family didn't know. So if we don't know my language, I can't speak my language, or I didn't know this precept, I shouldn't be embarrassed. I'm a son of a slave. But people get puffed up and can't, well, where you get that from? I'll send me what you got. And if I still don't see it yet, I'm still digging. I just can't see it yet. I got conversations going on with brothers for years, and we just keep trying to feed. We don't get mad. We just, all right, I'm trying to get you some more witnesses. That's how we build. That's how we build. Not to take my ball home. I ain't calling you no more. I can't come by no more. That's childish. That's foolishness. Galatians 4:16. So, family, the truth is a burden, but the truth is necessary. So let's pick up some speed. Why is the truth important? Let's get at the text. Let's go to John 8:32. Why is the truth important? John 8:32. Shema, read.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
You messed up. The truth will set you free. You got that up?
The truth shall make you free.
The truth don't set us free because we're still in captivity, but all of us in here are free. We're free from fear. We're free from death because we come back. No, we're not perfect in our walk, but y'all see we're trying. So the truth has set us free from Babylon. The truth has set us free from fearing Yahweh Shai is not going to set me. He knows I'm going to best. So this truth is important because the truth sets us free from death. Hallelujah God. Hallelujah God. So now we got to ask the question, family, what is truth? What is truth? Let's go to Yachanan 18:38. Yachanan 18:38. Because again, you line 10 different preachers up, you get 100 definitions of what truth is. But we don't have the luxury of defining things by our own terms. God defined things for us. You ask a preacher what's holy, you're going to get a whole dissertation. Holy is wearing dresses. Holy is not going to the movies. Holy is not smoking cigarettes. Holy is, the Most High says holy is to be set apart. And he gave us the list of what's being set apart. So what is truth? John 18:38.
Pilate said unto him, what is truth?
So Pilate is a Spaniard. And I imagine Pilate thought he was saying something slick to a can of oil. He thought he had a Mashiach. What is truth? But Hamashiach didn't answer Pilate because Pilate is a pagan. But he answered us in the text. What is truth? So all of us are Greco-Romans, so let's read their definition. This is right off Edamon online. And can you tell us what they say truth is?
Faithfulness, fidelity, loyalty, veracity, pledge, covenant.
Pledge or a covenant. Truth, a pledge or a covenant. Even the pagans get close to our way of life. Truth is a pledge or a covenant. Let's build on that. Let's go to Jeremiah 17:4. Jeremiah 17:4. Because I said we shouldn't be embarrassed that we don't know our language. One brother, one naysayer, they're speaking this language, and none of I talk to is fluent. So, because I can't speak my native tongue fluently, that means I'm not an Israelite. Because I know Italian Americans who don't speak their mother tongue. I know Chinese Americans, fourth generation, they don't speak their tongue. Are they less Chinese? So just for the fact that I'm not fluent in my mother tongue, don't discount me as being an Israelite. Jeremiah 17:4. Read.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
We don't know what truth is. We have to do all this digging and fasting because of disobedience. We lost our inheritance. Yeah. This truth is our inheritance. It's a covenant. It's a contract. It's part of who we are. And now we're coming back to all praise be to our Yah. So I mentioned the word Hebrewisms. And Hebrewisms is just our jargon. It's the way we talk. That exercise, you knew what me and my dogs kicking back, twisting caps, you knew what that meant. If you want to be with me, you got a TCB. We knew what that meant because that's our jargon. So this Bible, what they call a Bible, is full of Hebrewisms. Let's go to Luke 18:25. Luke 18:25. Let's show you a Hebrewism. Luke 18:25. If I'm going too fast, I'll just say slow down. Read.
Wait.
For it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
So, growing up in church, anybody ever had a picture that this was a real needle? Thought the Messiah was using hyperbole, exaggeration? He wasn't using hyperbole. In Jerusalem, in our land, we have locations called the Eye of a Needle. And I got an image on the screen, right on Google Images. But during the day, like I was saying, the gates would be open because we got watchmen on the wall. But at night, the big gate is closed, and you have a little door for a man to come through. So the Messiah was saying, it's easier for a camel to thread the eye of a needle than it is for your rich man to come to heaven, because y'all don't need me. But in Christianity, we thought he was using hyperbole and really imagine a camel going through the eye of a needle. Christianity missed it because the text is not for them. It's a Hebrew text. Let's get another one. Let's go to Matthew 16 and 18. This is going to be a favorite one. I know you're going to recognize it right away. Matthew 16 and 18. Matthew 16, verse 18. Shema? Read.
And I say unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
Hit the organ. We have a church in here. There's nothing wrong with having church if you got understanding. That's why now when we come in here at the fool, we got the fool because we got understanding. I really know that song, He Knows My Name. Y'all see those videos where the TikTok videos, the husbands are acting a fool, and the wife was like, yeah, that's mine. Yeah, that's mine. Y'all see that? Yeah. That's how y'all was looking at us when we had the world getting sloppy drunk, throwing up, getting incarcerated, fornicating in and out of the house, baby mama drama. Y'all was in heaven like, yeah, that's mine. He still knew our name. He still knew our name. So they tell us that this is when Peter got the commission that Christ was going to build his congregation on Peter. And Christianity tells you Peter was the first pope of the church. It's all lies. Peter was never a pope of the church. Read it again.
And I say unto thee that thou art Kappa, Peter, and upon this rock shall I build my set apart assembly, and the gates of hell or Sheol shall not prevail against it.
Hamashiach was using a Hebrewism, a play on words. He was using what they call it in their language, not a metaphor. What it was like would it be a double entendre? He was using like a metaphor. Let me show you what he was really saying. Let's go back up to verse 13 and let's run it down to 18. Matthew 16, verse 13.
Matthew 16, verse 13. When Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the son of Adam, am? And they said, some say thou art John the Baptist, some say Elias or Elijah, and others Jeremiah or Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am?
Who do y'all think I am? Read on.
And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art Hamashiach, the son of the living Elohim.
Come on.
And Yahushua answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee.
This is what he blessed Peter with. Blessed are you, Peter, because flesh and blood didn't say this to you. But read on.
But my Abba, which is in the Shemayim, or my Father, which is in the heaven. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Kappa, and upon this rock I will build my set-apart congregation, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
Peter's name in the Hebrew was Kappa, which means a rock or a stone. So he wasn't telling Peter, upon you I'm going to build my congregation. The fact that you say that I'm the son of the Most High, that's the rock I'm building my congregation on. Now, to get a witness that Peter is not the rock of the church, let's go to, for the sake of time, let's go to the last two. Let's go to 1 Peter, 1 Kappa 2 and 6. Hamashiach blessed him for recognizing that. He says, that's the rock I'm building my people on, the fact that I'm the son of the Most High. Not Peter being a first founder of the church, because he wasn't. 1 Peter 2 and 6. Read.
Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded.
Wait a minute. He laid in Zion a chief cornerstone, but I thought Peter was the stone of the church. You see how Christianity messed us up? Peter is not no rock of the church. Hamashiach is the rock. He's the rock we're founded on. Because Peter should have said, y'all know he said, I'm the rock of the church. Believe on me. No, Peter said, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone. Believe on him. Yahweh Shai is the chief cornerstone. Let's get a second witness. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 11. Christianity messed our brains up. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 11. Shema.
Shema.
Read.
For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai Hamashiach.
Which is who?
Yahweh Shai Hamashiach.
Their doctrine is blown out of the water. Peter is not the foundation. Peter is not the rock that Hamashiach built his church on. Hamashiach's church is built on the fact that he is the Son of the Most High. That's your way in. You can keep all the law, statutes, and commandments you want, but if you don't trust in the Son, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. That's why we lift his name up. That's why we rock his name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So let's bring this on home, revealing the Hebrewisms of truth. I said in the beginning, this whole text, from cover to cover, including the pseudepigraphers, is a bunch of Hebrewisms. And we missed the Hebrewisms because we lost our inheritance. It's not no one's fault. Your preacher wasn't evil. Your moray ain't evil. We are still under curses. Now we're slowly coming out, and God's returning to our heritage, which is based on language. So let's run these down. It's not going to take that long. Let's go to Psalms 40. Are you good? Let's go to Psalms 40, and we're going to run down 7 through 10. Psalms 40, verses 7 through 10. Read.
Then said I, Lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me, I delight to do thy will, O my Elohim. Yea, thy Torah is within my heart.
I delight to do your will. Your Torah is in my heart. This is all Hebrewisms. The Most High's will is for us to keep his law. Now, we're going to build you up to show you what the law really is. But the will, the Hebrewism of our text is following his law, statutes, commandments. And watch how this flows right back to the king. Let's go to Psalms 43 and 3. Everything goes through our king, family. Psalms 43 and 3. Read.
Oh, send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me unto thy holy hill and to thy tabernacles.
Send out thy light and let them bring me to your holy hill. Who's the light of the world? Yahweh Shai. You're saying these Hebrewisms? Everything is going back to the Father. So that's why we give it up for him. We give it up because he was the ultimate sacrifice. He broke his body so we can have life again, family. Hallelujah. Let's go to Psalms 85. Psalms 85, verse 7, and I'll then jump down to verse 10 through 13, if you don't mind. Psalms 85. My queen told me it don't take all day to recognize sunshine. Took me a while to get that. Psalm 85, verse 7. Read.
Show us thy mercy, O Yahweh, and grant us thy salvation. I will, verse what? 10.
So he says, grant us thy mercy and show us your truth. Grant us mercy and show us salvation. That's the Hebrewism right there. Mercy and salvation is going together. Mercy and salvation is a tag team. Let's drop down to verse 10. 10 through 13.
Verse 10. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other.
Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Righteousness is in the Hebrew, no matter what lexicon you use. Righteousness, use the blue letter Bible, that's the most easy one to use. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Righteousness is the law. So when you follow the law, you've been kissed with peace. Peace and law goes hand in hand. You keep the law, you have peace. You break the law, you have no peace.
That's true.
You got something out?
And when you look at that word peace, shalom, the root of it is shalom, is the shah, means to join together, the lam means to lead, and then the ma'in means, water to flow, the blood. So it's to join together, you're being led in the joining together of the blood, and that blood is the Mashiach's blood. And, I didn't mean to go that far.
But you see how our language is alive? You see how he did that with the pictures? Shalom means, Shah means to be joined to. La is the staff leadership. You're joined to the leader. The Ma is the blood, the fluid of Hamashiach. So when we say Shalom, it was given ode to Hamashiach. Everything we do, family, is not just for the show. It's not for design. We exalt our King up. That's why we say Shalom.
That's why he's the King of Peace.
Come on, Come on, I'm trying to say container here. Come on. You see, that's why I love when we get together. Shalom. He's the King of Peace. That's why we say Shalom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Did you finish that out?
No. 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, Yahweh shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase.
Righteousness shall look down from heaven. How is righteousness looking down from heaven? Because righteousness is the law. I am the truth. I am the way. In the Hebrew, Hamashiach was saying, I'm Torah. Stop worrying about your little rituals your fathers taught you. Christianity says, see, Hamashiach was teaching against the law. No, he was teaching against the Pharisees. He was telling them, all that, washing your hands and tying your left shoe first. And no, forget that. I'm the truth. I'm the way and the life. I'm the law. Focus on me. So righteousness, the law, is looking down from heaven, ready to get us, family. That's why you got to be careful how you talk about the law. You got to be very mindful. The law is just a Hebrewism for Hamashiach. You have to be careful how you talk about the law, family. Finish that out.
Righteousness shall go before him, and shall set us in the way of his steps.
Righteousness is going before him. This is the Son going before the who? The Father. Go ahead, sis. Come on. We got to read it here. Righteousness shall go before him. Well, righteousness is the law is the Son. The Son is going before the Father. Everything we got is built on our law because it's Hamashiach. Hallelujah. You finish that out? Let's go to Psalms 119. Psalms 119 is a whole love letter to the law. We're just going to get two of them. Psalms 119, verses 142. Psalms 119, verse 142. Psalms 119, verse 142. Shema. Read.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Thy law is the truth. This is the truth revealed conference. It's been in our face the whole time. His law is the truth. Now we're tying into Hebrewism. His law is truth, and the law is Hamashiach. He's the rule. He's the standard. Anybody ever know old school, the real McCoy? Y'all know you come to the bus stop with a gold chain on it? Where my dookie rope crowd at? Anybody remember the dookie ropes? Big gold chains? Yeah, that ain't real. You got that from Caltech. You got that from Swamp Meat. And someone would say, that ain't the real McCoy. Well, Hamashiach is the standard. He's the real McCoy. So he's the one that we are measured against. He did it, you can do it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's go to verse 151, all the way towards the end. Psalms 119, verse 151. Hamashiach is the law, family. You got to be careful how you talk about the law. It's just a Hebrewism. It's a metaphor for the king, family. Psalms 119, verse 151. Read.
Thou art near, O Yahweh, and all thy commandments are true.
All thy commandments are what?
True.
All thy commandments are what?
True.
Who is truth? Hamashiach. Now let's get in the New Testament because y'all know this is going viral. When the old man said, did I go viral? But they would say, all y'all do is read the Old Testament. I'm a New Testament Christian. Well, I'm a New Testament Israelite. Let's go to John 14 and 6. John 14 and 6. The truth is the law is Christ. The law is Christ. It's a package deal. When you separate them and start focusing on something else, you're on dangerous ground. Right. You're on dangerous ground. Hamashiach is the gatekeeper, and he built his whole foundation. He built his kingdom on the law. on the law. You're not getting, and where my junk food eaters at? Krispy Kreme people? Krispy Kreme, where they at? My wife make fun of me all the time. You ain't fool, you just trying to get to them sweets. But the law is the vegetables. The law is the vegetables. The gifts, the prophecy, the sin that we're gonna need to go to Douglas's house tonight, and now go down to South Carolina. Those are the desserts. But you're not getting the sweets if you ain't eat your vegetables. That's good. Now, how many try to get smart when they was young? Mom, I'm full. Oh, but you full, you don't need that cake. Okay, So when you say you full, we had enough. Now you don't need the extra. You done had enough. You're full. You don't need the desserts. Right. So the law is your vegetables. Once you eat your vegetables, then the gift of prophecy is coming. Then the gift of healing is coming. I tell you, it's going to be us, the dirtbags who ran the streets, coming to a cancer ward and their coffin stops. Hey, what's going on? We was about to red tap this joker. He's up. It's us, family. That's the power you have. That's the law. You keep the law, the gifts are coming. You say something is happening, your family will be beating you down. You said this was going to happen. That's what's coming back to us, family. Now it's time to find your ark of safety. Don't wait till it's raining. Now you're beating down our doors because the door's going to be closed. You done got jabbed up 5 or 6 times, glazed over. You're going to take all our energy trying to heal you now. No, now it's time to find your assembly. Hallelujah. So John 14:6. Let's wrap this up. Read.
Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
So Christianity missed this. The law's been nailed to the cross, but Psalms 119 told you over and over again, his law is truth. Now Hamashiach is telling you, I am truth. That Hebrew was a little over our head inside the church. Hamashiach is the truth. He is the law. Let's get it again in John 17:17. John 17:17. It's a package deal. It's a 2 for 1. John 17:17. Read.
Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is true.
Sanctify them. Cleanse them through your word. Now, what cleansed us on the cross? Hamashiach's blood. You see the parallel there? Sanctify them through your word. Hamashiach is the word, and he sanctified us on the cross with his sacrifice. Your word is truth. It's a package deal. That's why we keep the law. The law is Hamashiach. It's just a Hebrewism that whatever Christianity had. We don't need the law no more. We got grace. What you need grace for if you ain't committing no sins? Just ask questions, fam. You don't gotta be mean at people. Just keep asking questions. The number one question these babies ask is what? I know you gotta do small ones. What do you keep asking all the time? What? And you try to be patient sooner or later, because I said so. That's what you do with Christians. Just keep asking questions. Okay, we're in grace. Okay, so we're in grace for what you need grace for? What is grace doing? And you just keep asking this question and they start fumbling, and that's when do you mind if I open the scriptures up to you? Can I show you something? That's how we win the lost, family. Not by embarrassing people and chopping people's heads off. You chop their head off, how are you going to survive? If you're not ready to deal with the Christians, don't deal with them. You'll give the Messiah a black eye. Because he was always patient with us. He got Brody with who? The Pharisees. Because the Pharisees wasn't really us. But when he was dealing with Israel, he was patient. He said, I'm going to give you pastors after my own flock, after my own heart. So you out there ready to, let me show you your passion. Come on, listen with that. Listen with that. So Christ is the sanctifying word of truth. Christ is the law, family. Christ is the law. Let's go to John 1:1. We got one more slide, family. I can sense Hebrews getting hungry. John 1:1.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the Most High. The same.
That's all we needed. In the beginning was the Word was the Most High, and the Word was with the Most High. This has been translated, and it sounds really discombobulated, but we're going to try to make some sense of it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the Most High. It's not that the Word was the Most High. The word and the Most High are two different things. It's just that, again, it's Hebrewisms. They don't understand the beginning was a word, that's the Hamashiach. And it was the Most High. It's their translation. It means they was on one accord. Right. So when the Father says, the Son said, I got to pop, I do this pop. Not that Jesus ain't Lord. Jesus is not God. I mean, I've been having conversations with, we believe Jesus is God. He tells you all the time, I come do my Father's will. Yeah. If he comes do his Father's will, how is he God? Just ask questions, family. Now let's tie this in with Revelation 22 and 13. In the beginning was the Word was with the Most High, the Word is a Hamashiach. Revelation 22, 13. Shimon, read.
I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Or I am the and the
Ta. So we know Hamashiach is not a Greek. So Hamashiach ain't any Greeks in here. I don't offend nobody. Hamashiach wasn't around here going, no. He would have said, I'm and the Ta. Hamashiach is not Greek. This is a Greek translation. I'm Alpha and Omega. He would have said, I'm and the Ta. The beginning of our speech is the the ox head, and the last letter of our speech is the Ta, the mark. He says, I'm and Ta. But the tie-in, I'm not going to precept this because we've been going long, but the tie-in family, Hamashiach is not the Alpha and Omega. Hamashiach is not the beginning and the end. Hamashiach says, the words I speak are not my own, but my Father's. So this revelation is the revelation of Hamashiach that he got from who? To give to who? His servants. So when he says, I'm the Alpha and Omega, he's speaking of Yah. Yah is the beginning and the end. Because Hamashiach has a beginning. Hamashiach is a created being. Yeah. What precept is that, Al?
Revelation 3:14.
Let's do we read Revelation 22:13? Because I hate to say stuff when y'all with a cliffhanger like that.
Revelation chapter 3 at verse 14. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of Elohim.
So you see, the beginning of the creation of Elohim, the beginning of his creation is Hamashiach. So Hamashiach is not the Alpha and Omega, the I and Ta. Yah is the beginning and the end. Because Hamashiach can't be the end because why? He's the firstborn of what? Creation. And he's the firstborn of many sons that's coming. So he's not the beginning and the end. Christianity taught that. Yah is the beginning and the end, but Hamashiach is the beginning of his creation. Got some sense?
I got a precept I want to do it now on my phone.
This is part of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1, verse 1. This is a long verse.
Sirach or the old one?
Sirach. Ecclesiasticus 1. It's one of the longest verses I've seen, but so I'm just going to read the middle of it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 1. Also Sirach chapter 1, verse 1. I want to start somewhere in the middle for the sake of time. It starts with, wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them.
Come on, sis.
And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language.
Come on. Somebody give her a hand clap. That's why we got to come back to our language, not to be, different, or they speaking, no, because these letters are alive. These letters mean something. And when you know what these letters mean, you know what God says. It just our way of life is not that complicated. You don't need to be praying, Yah, send your truth. Yah. No. Be obedient, keep the law, pray and fast, and God's coming to you. He's coming to you. Thanks for that, sis. So I just want to bear witness, because I see the faces. Hamashiach is not the beginning and the end. Yah is. But Hamashiach is the beginning of creation. It's oil and water. Church missed that because this book is for Hebrews. It's food for us, by us. So let's go to John 7 and 16. to prove that he was talking about his Father when he says the beginning and the end. He wasn't talking about himself. John 7:16. John 7:16. Read.
Yahushua answered them and said, My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
Hamashiach never said nothing of his own. So when he told them, I'm only sent to Israel, he didn't make that up. His Father told him to say that. When he says, go not but unto the lost sheep of Israel, he wasn't freestyling. His Father told him, only worry about my people. Now if you pick up some strays up along the way, it was written in our Torah. Do not oppress a stranger. So a stranger wants to live with us and learn with us, come on. Don't play games with Judah because we are the war tribe. We will take you out back in the shed. But if you're righteous, you really want to be saved by our King, come on and fellowship with us. We love you like a brother. It was built into the commandments. So this thing about making people feel less than human, I don't read that in the text. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's get the last one. Hamashiach is the spokesman for Christ. Hamashiach is the spokesman for Yah. Yah is the beginning and the end, not the Son. Let's get the last witness for that. Deuteronomy 18:18.
Before we go there,
You got something?
can you just finish it, 17 and 18?
Go ahead, let me use you.
John 7. He says, if any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of the Most High, or whether I speak of myself. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory, but he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him.
That answers the question we had, that bill we had a couple weeks ago. How do we know people's talking the truth? What do he say? If he's doing my will?
If he's doing the will of him that sent him.
That's how we know people speaking the truth. You get up there, I did this, and I did this, and I got 15 degrees, and I healed 15 people. Wait a minute, all these eyes, where's Hamashiach at? Where's the will of the Father at? So Deuteronomy 18:18.
And with that being said, Matthew 7, to go to that point that, I did this, I did that, watch me do this, is how is the Father being glorified? What are you doing to please the Most High? You're just doing this all yourself. So Matthew 7, starting at verse 21, not everyone that saith unto me, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name? In thy name cast out devils, in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. No, iniquity is all of this, and that's against the will of the Father.
That's a great precept. That's how we tie this all together. Anything else before we move on? All praise. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18:18 to show that everything Hamashiach was saying, it was of the Father. So Hamashiach is not the eye on the top. Hamashiach is not the beginning and the end. His Father is. Deuteronomy 18:18. Read.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
So this is what they call a proof text that in Revelations, when Hamashiach says, I'm the Alpha and Omega, he wasn't speaking of himself, he was speaking of the Father. The Father is the beginning and the end. And this is going to tie into truth revealed. Just bear with me 1 second. Y'all being the beginning and the end is going to tie right in perfectly to truth revealed. So let's go to 2nd Baruch, chapter 32, and I got it on the screen. The Most High says, I'm Alpha and Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. In the Hebrew, he said, I'm Ah and the Ta. Everything starts and ends with the Father. And the Son co-signed everything. Now watch how beautiful this ties in with truth revealed. 2nd Baruch, chapter 32, and verse 1. If Baruch is new to you, Baruch was Jeremiah's scribe when he was in prison. He did all the writing for Jeremiah. He saw Nebuchadnezzar destroy Jerusalem. 2 Baruch 32, verse 1. Read.
But as for you, if you prepare your hearts so as to sow in them the fruits of the law, it shall protect you in that time in which the Mighty One is to shake the whole creation.
The law shall what?
It shall protect you.
The law shall what?
It shall protect you in that time in which the Mighty One is to shake the whole creation.
How's the law going to protect you if it was nailed to the cross? Now, in the Hebraic context, the law was written on stones. The stones can't be found. So how can the law protect you if it was nailed to the cross? How can it protect you if we can't find the stones? This is a Hebrewism. The law that's going to protect you is Hamashiach. I'm the truth, the way, and the life. His spirit is here. His spirit is the reason why we didn't have an accident. His spirit is the reason why you don't have COVID. The law is going to protect you. Hamashiach is going to protect you. Let's finish that up. Number two.
Because after a little time, the building of Zion will be shaken in order that it may be built again. But that building will not remain, but will again, after a time, be rooted out and will remain desolate until the time.
That's all we needed. The law is going to protect you. Now that the Most High is about to shake in the earth and you see it, the law is going to protect you. But he wasn't talking about what was written on the stones. He's talking about his son. His son is going to protect you. Now let's finish this up and show you how this ties into truth revealed. Since we did it, let me go back to 2 Baruch 44. Give you another one more witness. Y'all all right? 2 Baruch 44 to give you another witness. In our culture, everything must be verified by 2 or 3 witnesses. 2 Baruch 44. Read. 2 Baruch 44 and 1.
And I, Baruch, went from thence and came to my people, and I called my firstborn son, the Gedaliah, and my friends, and the 7 of the elders of the people, and I said unto them,
What do you say,
Behold, behold, I go unto my fathers according to the way of all the earth. But withdraw you not from the way of the law.
Withdraw not from what?
From the way of the law.
Why not?
But guard and admonish the people which remain, lest they withdraw from the commandments of the Mighty One.
So I took you here to show you that the law was going to keep you now that Hamashiach, now that the Most High is shaking this earth. Everyone's scared. Oh, they fighting over here. China wants to take over. Oh, it's a variant out here. Yah is shaking the world right now. But we don't fear because the law that's in us is going to protect us. But it's not the written law that's going to protect you. It's his son that's inside of you. So you don't hold to fear. You hold to the law, which is Hamashiach. Now, let's bring this home and give you the Hebrewisms of truth revealed. This is why I love our language. Our language is a lie. So, in the Hebrew, the word for truth, or the word the pagans translated for truth, and again, we read from right to left. So this is a-ma-ta. This is a-mat. This is a-mat. This is the word for truth. What do you notice it begins with? The ah. And what do you notice it ends with? You see that in Revelations? I'm the beginning and the end. I'm the beginning and the end. This is the Father. So this word, this letter in the middle, this is the Ma. Anybody know what the Hebrewism for Ma means?
The blood or the water or the flood.
The water, and what is a metaphor for water in the scriptures? Water. Go ahead.
Voices.
He said it. So the Most High says, I'm and Ta, I'm the beginning and the end, and in between, I'm surrounding my people. I'm encapsulating my people. I'm protecting my people. Let's get in the book. Let's go to Psalms 34 and 7. Let's get in the book. That's why our language is alive. That's why this awakening is real. Come back to the law, statutes, commandments, because that's your only protection. It's the Messiah. It's not what's written on stone, it's his son. Psalm 34:7. Amat. Shemai. Read.
The Malach, or the angel of Yahweh, encampeth round about them that fear him.
The Malachim, the angel of Yah, is Messiah. He encamps around those who fear him. The Most High is the beginning and the end. In the middle is his people. And who's leading his people? The Son. Y'all see the Hebrewisms here? That's why our language is alive. That's why we take the time to learn it, not to be special, not to show, oh, I know something you don't. That's the key to unlocking our records. It's this language. It's your inheritance being restored to you. Embrace it. Walk proudly with it. Because when you hear the Arabics, and some of our brothers lost, I used to be so jealous when I hear them pray in Arabic. Any ex-Muslims in here? Don't be ashamed. You know the prayers in Arabic? I used to be so jealous of y'all. I'm like, man, they know the Arabic, it sounds so good, but they got it from us. Our songs are songs in Hebrew, and they got rhythm to it. You may be in charge of it. So the Arabic, the Ishmaelites, they got that from us. Chanting your prayers in a rhythm, that's King Dawud. That's King Albert. Man, I wish I knew my Hebrew. So embrace it. It's our heritage. That's who we are. Let's get a second witness. The eye and the tie, God's protecting his people. Let's close out with Psalms 125. Psalms 125, verse 2. This thing is powerful. This thing is real, family.
Yeah.
Psalms 125 and verse 2. Amat, truth revealed. It's the Father protecting his people by the blood of his Son. That's what truth is. Amat. The Father is encamping around us. He's enclosing us, and we're covered by the blood of his Son. Psalms 125, verse 2. Read.
As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so Yahweh is round about his people from henceforth even forever.
Come on, that sounds so good, fam. Stand on your feet, let's read that again. Hallelujah. He encamps around his people, fam. You're not alone. When you're on your job and they're making fun of you, oh, they buying land. You think you're Hebrew, oh, he ain't scared of COVID. They're ignorant. No, my Father is encamped around me. My Father has enclosed me with the blood of his Son. So I'm part of a kingdom that you're not. Your president is not my king. My king is the King of glory, the great I am. So I don't follow your laws. I follow my law, because my law is the Son of the living Allah.
As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so Yahweh is round about his people from henceforth even forever.
To the Son come.
Even forever.
To the resurrection.
Even forever.
Your Father's with you right now, family. All praise be to our Yah.